Red cameras are being known for being some of the best cameras in the world. I mean, tons of huge Hollywood movies that come out are shot with red cameras. But what if I told you that there are 5 ways that the iPhone in your pocket is better than a red camera? Buckle up, because we're about to make some fanboys cry. The first way that an iPhone is better than a red is its size. I mean, you can't put a red in your pocket. Trust me, I've tried. iPhones are tiny compared to reds, and you can take them to places like concerts, festivals, art shows, and tons of other places that wouldn't allow you to walk in with a red unless you had a press pass. You always have an iPhone with you, so that makes it so much easier to pull it out and to get a shot whenever, wherever, with minimal effort, and without causing back issues. Because every time I come home after a long shoot with my red, my back is like... The second way that an iPhone is better than a red is that it has autofocus. Now, some of the newer reds that are coming out have started to integrate autofocus into their camera systems, but even then it's not super reliable. And with an iPhone, you can almost guarantee that your subject will always be in focus because that's the kind of software that iPhones have. They're smart, and they're a phone. You can't make phone calls with a red. Only smartphones can do that. But I digress. The third way that iPhones are better is that they have incredible image stabilization. I mean, you don't even need a gimbal for these things. As long as you have a tight grip on your phone, and as long as you're walking somewhat smooth and not whipping your phone back and forth like a grandma riding a bull, your shot will look like it was filmed on a gimbal. Red cameras, however, don't have any built-in stabilization unless you're shooting with a lens that has stabilization built in. So if you're wanting a really smooth shot with a red, you're gonna need to put your camera either on a gimbal, a slider, or a dolly. The fourth thing that makes iPhones better is that they have software that makes your images HDR, or high dynamic range. As you can see in this example here, the sky in the iPhone shot is blue, whereas the shot with a red is blown out and white. iPhones have special software that can detect when they need to boost the shadows or show detail in the highlights, and it does it all while setting your exposure for you. Whereas with red cameras, you have to set your exposure using ISO, aperture, shutter speed, and ND filters, which can sometimes be a headache when you just want to pull out the camera and shoot. And the fifth and final reason why iPhones are better than red cameras is that they are so much more affordable, and you don't have to take out a second mortgage to buy one. Red cameras, on the other hand, are so expensive that you'll probably have to sell a kidney just to afford one. Alright, now obviously, if you haven't caught on to my sense of humor yet, these two devices are different tools used for different purposes. In my everyday life, I use my iPhone way more than my red because of how small, compact, and accessible it is. But for professional work, obviously I'm going to be using my red, and I would never even consider the iPhone for professional video. And in a second, I'm going to explain all the things that make red cameras way better than iPhones, but first I want to talk about the sponsor of this video, Track Club, which is where I got all of the music for this video. Track Club is a new website that allows creators like you to download and license high-quality music. But what makes them unique is that they allow you to customize any song by muting or soloing instruments, adjusting volume levels and beats per minute, making the song slower or faster, and then downloading that custom mix to use for your content. Track Club allows you to quickly and easily find the perfect song for your project, and you don't have to worry about copyright strikes on your video when you use their subscription. As someone who is really picky about the songs that I use in my videos, I've been super impressed with Track Club's library, and I know that I'll be using their website for tons of upcoming projects. You can get a free month of Track Club if you use my link down in the description below. Go ahead and try it out and let me know what you think. Alright, now let's talk about the reason why red cameras are better than iPhones. First, reds have incredible resolution. And depending on the camera you get, you can either film in 6K or 8K resolution, whereas the iPhone is maxed out at 4K, and even then their 4K footage still looks kind of grainy and pixelated. With that increased resolution on a red, you can see every little detail, whereas with iPhones it just sometimes looks kind of blotchy, like a teenager going through puberty. Next, reds can shoot with incredibly high frame rates. The Red Epic W that I have can shoot in 4K at up to 120 frames per second, whereas the iPhone can only do half of that with 4K at 60 frames per second. My red can also shoot 6K at up to 80 frames per second, which is just ridiculous. Like, as ridiculous as a pineapple growing legs and roundhouse kicking you in the face. Red cameras also have way superior color science, making your colors look clean and natural, as well as a higher bit depth, meaning that you can manipulate your colors in color grading without losing detail or clarity. But if you push your iPhone colors too far, you get banding and, again, blotchiness. I apologize to all the teenagers going through puberty. Worst time of my life. Another benefit of red cameras is that you can put on any lens that you'd like, whereas with iPhones, you're stuck to the lenses that come with the phone. But on the flip side, having multiple lenses that are already built into your camera that fits in your pocket is amazing. So again, different tools for different purposes. And you know, maybe the day will come in our lifetime when red cameras will be the size of an iPhone. With advances in technology, these cameras are getting smaller and lighter, and the day may come when software may be so good that it can outperform hardware. However, regardless of what camera you use, the most important thing is knowing how to make any camera look good by using lighting and composition rules. So if you'd like to learn more about that, then feel free to check out any of my other videos that talk about that. Other than that, once you're done arguing in the comments, go out and make some amazing content, because the act of trial and error is what ultimately will make you the best cinematographer you can be. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.